Welcome back to my channel. What I'm going to do now is start making the gears for this crankshaft. Over here we've got a 21 tooth sliding gear which will mesh with this gear. Here we've got a fixed gear, so when that's on there, this sliding gear will mesh with that. And here we've got a 13 tooth gear which will slide and mesh with this one. So let's machine the blanks up. Right, what I've got is one of the gear blanks in a lathe. I'm just going to face off this back side first so it's nice and flat. Right, so that's this back side done. What I'll do now is turn it over, face the other side off, so the overall width of the gear, thickness of the gear from that face to the other face will be right. Right, as you can see, I've faced this side off a little bit because the amount I've got to take off of there would have made this stub nearly non-existent. So now I have to machine this face off so the thickness is right. Then I'll be able to bore it to put onto a mandrel and then turn the rest of it down to the overall diameter. So I'll just machine this middle part off. Right, that's the last cut there. So now from the back of this gear to that front is the right depth. Now I'm going to bore out the hole to fit on the crankshaft. Bore it out to 600 phi. Right, I'm just putting the centre drill in there. That's the centre drill done. I'll just get a bigger drill now. Just going up the sides of the drills. Right, now I've drilled the hole, I'm going to use a boring bar now just to get that to 600 phi. Now I've bored that out, I'm going to now mount that onto a mandrel. Turn down the overall diameter there. Finish doing the overall width of that part, the gear. And then finish machining this to diameter, and then there's a little slot where the sliding mechanism moves the gear. Right, I'm just going to turn the outside diameter to size. Right, now I've machined the overall diameter here. I'm going to finish taking the thickness off this face. Right, that's the last cut. That should be down to 405. Perfect. Beautiful. Now what I've got to do is machine that middle part down to diameter before we do anything else to it. Well, I've machined this down to the diameter. Now I'm going to use a parting off tool to create a little slot in there, which will be for the gear selector, which moves that gear on and off. Just get this set up. So I'm just creating a little groove in there. There we are. Right, so that's one machine blank. That little groove there is for the gear mover, which will help move the gear to mesh with the other gears. Right, I'll just machine the other two blanks. Right, that's the second sliding gear done. That groove there will be for the fork which makes the gear slide on the crankshaft. One more gear to turn. Right, that's the third gear turned up, ready for cutting the teeth. Okay, so the first gear I'm going to cut is an 18 tooth gear. So the cutter I'm going to use is a number 6 gear cutter, which will do 17 to 20. So that's the cutter I'm going to use. Now we've got to find out what plate we're going to use. I've got an 18 tooth hold plate there, which is this one. So I'll be using the 18 holes there. But then we've got to find out how many rotations and holes we've got to use per tooth. So I've got a ratio of 40 to 1 on my dividing head. So we'll put the 40 there. And we'll put the teeth here. So 18s into 40 goes 2. So that will be 2 revolutions, which then leaves 4. So out of the 18 holes, it will be 2 revolutions and 4 18ths. So that will be, starting there, 2 revolutions and then 4 holes, which will be 1, 2, 3, 4. That will then be the next gear cut, tooth cut. So I'll get all this set up on the milling machine. Right, I've got this all set up on the milling machine. I've got this pin in the 0 mark. So what it will be, I'll just unlock it, 2 full turns, and then 1, 2, 3, 4 spaces. That will be the next tooth cut. Move that round, ready to move again for the next one. So let's get a move on. Just put that back round to 0. Right, so I'll lock that off, make a start. I'm going to do it in 2 cuts, one at 108 and then the final depth of 216.5. So let's make a start. That's the first cut. So unlock. So it's 2 full turns and 4 spaces. Move that around, lock it up, and do the next cut. Right, I'll just do the other teeth and get back to you. Right, that's all the teeth cut at half depth. I'll now move the cutter to full depth and cut all the way around. Right, I've set the cutter to full depth. Let's get on and cut the gear. Right, that's the first cut. I'll get on and cut the rest. Right, that's the 18 tooth gear cut. Right, that's the 18 tooth gear I just cut. Obviously I haven't put the key in yet. But then this gear there will mesh with that. Lovely. Get on and do the other 2. Right, the next gear we're going to cut is the 21 tooth gear. As I've said on all the other gears, I've got a ratio of 40:1, so we'll put the 40 there. And we'll put the number of teeth there. Right, so the cutter is easy. We're going to use the number 5 cutter, which does 21 to 25. So that's the cutter we're using. And then the plate we're going to use, I've got a 21 hole plate there, so we'll use that one, which is the inner circle there. Now the next thing will be how many rotations and holes we've got to turn per tooth. So if we go 21 into 40 is 1, so we're going to do 1 full rotation, which leaves us with 19. So 21s. So what we're going to do we're going to do one full rotation and then 19 21s. So that'll be 19 holes there, I think. So you don't count the first one, so 19, that'll be there then. So let's get this set up on the milling machine. Right, so I've got that all set up on the milling machine. So we're ready to cut. I've just cut the first tooth. Right, that's the first tooth cut. Right, now I'll just rotate. So it's one full turn and 19 21s, which is there. Swivel that around. Lock that up. Right, I'll just carry on and cut the rest of the tooth at half depth and get back to you. Right, that's all the teeth cut at half depth. Now I'm going to move the disc in to cut the full depth. Right, I've moved the disc that way to the full depth. Now I'm going to cut all the teeth. Right, same again, one full turn, 19 holes. One full turn, 19 holes. There we are. I'll just cut this one. Right, that's the second tooth. I'll just cut all the rest and get back to you. That's the 21 tooth gear cut. Right, and there's we got the 21 tooth gear in there. And that slides in there and meshes with this gear here, look. Right, the next and last gear we're going to cut is the 13 tooth gear. Sliding gear here, which will mesh with this gear. So let's work out the plate and cutter. Right, so to do the 13 tooth gear, I'm going to use this number 8 cutter, which does 12 to 13 teeth. So that's the easy part. Right, as we got a ratio of 40 to 1, we'll put the 40 there, put the teeth there. So 13s into 40 go 3. So we'll put that there. Now the next thing we're going to do is work out what plates we're going to use. So I've got 3 plates. On the other gears, like the 18, we've used that plate. And on the 21 gear, we've used a 21 plate. Now we haven't got a 13 and we haven't got a 26, but we got a 39. So 3 13s is 39. So we'll use the 39 hole plate, which is, where's the numbers on here? That second roll in there. So using a 39, we're going to do 3 complete turns. 1, 2, 3. And then we need to work out how many holes per tooth. So it's just slightly different. Got a 39 plate. Now, 39 leaves 1 rotation. So when you've got 39 holes, 13s into that go 3. So we're going to do 3 rotations and 3 holes. And that's it. So I'll set this lot up on the milling machine and start cutting the teeth. So I've got this all set up on the milling machine. So to cut each tooth, once I've cut that tooth there, it'll be 3 full turns and the 3 holes. Then that'll be the next cut. Right, so I'll just put that back to 0. And start cutting the teeth. Right, going to start cutting these teeth then at half depth. Right, that's the first tooth cut. I'll just move this round. So it is 1, 2, 3 and 3 holes. Right, that's the second tooth cut. I'll just cut the rest and get back to you. Right, that's all 13 teeth cut at half depth. Now I'm going to move the blank that way to full depth. Right, so I've moved this that way to full depth. Nice and steady. Right. Same again. 3 rotations and 3 holes. 1, 2, 3. And the 3 holes. Make sure you lock everything up tight. Right, that's 2 cuts done. I'll just do the rest and get back to you. Right, that's all 13 teeth cut at the full depth. Let's get it off of there and we'll have a look. And there's the cut tooth. Let's try it on the crankshaft. Right, here's the gear on the crankshaft, which slides. I just hold that down there and meshes with this gear here. Great. I haven't put the keys in yet. What I want to do now is actually finish the crankshaft before I do anything else, like machining the waste shaft brackets and that. So I want to do the counterweights which fit on this side and the straps. Please subscribe to my channel and join me as I build a 2-inch scale Fowler Showman's traction engine.